Hello, I'm going to give you a short tutorial here into how to use Piecemaker, part of the Motion Bank web systems. So what you do is you go to this website, app.motionbank.org, and once this page loads, you're going to go to Sign In. Here you're going to put in your login name and your password. Mine's already in there. Click on Login, and you'll see this green tab that comes up saying login is successful. This same green tab comes up when you save things, when you load things, so you'll see that frequently. That lets you know that whatever operation you've clicked on is confirmed. So I'm going to go directly into Piecemaker. This is the annotation software that is part of the system, and I'm going to create a timeline. This timeline is going to lie then in this, see there's a scrollable, there's a bunch of timelines I already have here, and I'm going to add a new one. I'm going to call it HZT test timeline. Now I use underscores. You don't have to use underscores, it's just a habit I have. I'm going to click on submit. Okay, that's all there is to it. Now it's in alphabetical order. You can scroll down to it and you'll see that it's here. You can also search. If you have a lot of timelines, this can be useful on HZT, and it's going to show me only that timeline. Now if you look over here, you've got a number of possible buttons. We're going to ignore everything. Live annotate, that's for real-time annotation. We're not going to go into that now. You've got search, you've got edit, you've got delete. You can play around with those, but I'm only going to show you now the annotation part of the software. And to do that, we're going to add videos to our timelines. So we're going to click on videos, and here it says to add videos. So here you can add a video from any streaming server, but I'm going to show you what you can do with YouTube or with Vimeo. And first I'm going to go to a film I've already found on YouTube. It's a Jonathan Burrows piece from 1996, and I'm going to select the URL here and copy it and go back to my Motion Bank systems, and I'm going to add the video. I'm going to drop the URL in here, click on submit, and that's all there is to it. Submission successful, and we're ready to go. It put in the video title from YouTube. You can change that title if you want to. We're going to ignore tags for now, and we're just going to submit, and there it is, ready to annotate. I'm just going to go back to the YouTube site for a moment. If you set it's good if you know something about uploading to YouTube and Vimeo. They both behave a little differently in the annotation platform, so I'll show you that in a moment. I prefer YouTube, and I'll show you why in a moment. But you can set these to unlisted. So if you upload a video to YouTube that you'd rather people not find or not be able to find, you can set it to unlisted, and then you can still annotate it, but nobody else can see it on YouTube, except if they have the direct URL. So I'm going to go back to my Piecemaker timeline, and I'm going to click on annotate. Again, I'm going to ignore these things here for now. I'm going to show you edit a little bit later, but for now I'm just going to click on annotate, and we're ready to go. You can annotate in two ways. You can either play the video, and let's say I'm just going to jump forward a little bit. It's playing, and let's say I'm going to stop it, and you can annotate here. Jonathan behind, that's Henry, actually, Henry Montes. Click on enter, and there your annotation is set. So from wherever you are in the video then, let's say you're playing something much further on, and you stop it, you can just jump back to that moment in the video. This more video shows up from YouTube. Just click on the X and it'll disappear. Now one of the things you have with YouTube, and this is different from Vimeo, is on the bottom you've got these fine controls. And I don't know exactly why they don't show up with Vimeo, but they don't. They show up with YouTube, and that's one reason I prefer it, because for fine-grained changes, let's say in movement, you can go frame by frame and find, going backwards or forwards, you've got per second as well, and find exactly some moment when, let's say, Henry in a twist. In that moment, hit enter, and it drops the annotation in there. Okay, that's all there is to it, except there's one other choice for annotating. You can be watching the video running, and anytime you hit a key, doesn't matter which key, just J, that sets the mark. So as the video is playing, the very first key you hit sets the time marker. So I'm going to hit enter, and that can take me right back to that moment that I hit the J. The advantage here is that you can just watch things. This blackout in the screen that comes up in a moment is just part of the video edit, so just ignore that. Just wait for a second. And let's say I set another one. Now, doesn't matter, K, L, and that means that I can go back to that later. That could be a moment which I say, that's interesting, but I don't want to spend time typing anything. I just want to make a mark there, leave a mark. I want to be able to go back to it later, jump back to it, click on Edit, and change this to say Jonathan and Henry facing each other. And I hit Save, and then I have a new annotation there, and it says Updated Annotation. I can do the same with these other ones. I can click Edit. Let's say looking forward, click Save, updated the annotation. Let's go to this one, and I decide don't really need that annotation. I can delete it. Okay, and that is all there is to annotation. That means it's completely up to you what it is that you type here. You can type as much or as little as you want, and this is one of the interesting things in terms of annotation method. Annotation practice is what kinds of keywords or descriptions or associations you make in terms of text in relation to what's happening in the video. All right, so I'm going to go back to the timeline, my HZT timeline. I'm going to try, there's an arrow up here. Sometimes you have to go just a, it seems like it should go back, but sometimes I find I have to go back to Piecemaker, all the list of timelines. I'm going to find HZT by searching on it, and then I'm going to go into the videos again, and I'm going to add another video. This time I'm going to add the Vimeo video. Here we are, I'm going to select the URL and copy it. Again, go back into Piecemaker. I'm going to paste the URL there. I'm going to submit. Submission successful. Now let's say, I said you could change the video title. I'm going to do that, just deleting the motion bank part there. Submit it. And here we are, my two videos to annotate. I've already annotated the stop quartet sum, and now I can annotate the Vimeo one. Now here's something you should pay attention to, and that is the timeline is the kind of central organizing feature of the software. That means that these two videos now actually appear, partly because of when I added them, to be running around, starting around the same time. So that's 2101 and that's 2107. Because the stop quartet video, I believe, let me take a quick look at it. I believe the stop quartet video, it's 9 minutes long. So let's say it was longer. Doesn't matter so much. See, I clicked on that arrow and this time it worked going back one step. So it means that annotations I leave on the stop quartet that overlap with, because it's 9 minutes long, with the time here, 2107, those annotations are going to show up on both videos. And this you don't want. I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to go to the end of stop quartet. Here, very end more or less. I'm going to leave test annotation, right? I'm going to go back. I'm going to bring up my both sitting duet, and you'll see the test annotations also there because they overlap on the timeline. So what you have to do, and this is what you can do if you're just working with, say you want to use the timeline just to organize a bunch of videos in one place, and it doesn't really matter what their global time is necessarily. So you have to alter this time. I'm going to do that by editing, and you want to do this before you annotate, because if you do it after you annotate, then you lose all your annotations. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to click on Edit, and here you see the time. Click on the time, little clock there, and it's going to give you the chance to change that time. So this is what I'm going to do to move those videos out of any overlap. And for this, I'm going to just arbitrarily add an hour. I happen to know the stop quartet's only 9 minutes, so if I add an hour, I definitely have no longer an overlapping video. I'm going to submit it, and then I'll show you with both sitting duet that annotation has disappeared. And now I can go ahead and annotate this just like I did the other one. So moving in, first thing I'm going to add that I don't want to type very much, and starting. So when I hit the S, that's what set the annotation. Same thing. Go back to the first one, moving in, save it, updated the annotation, and then you're away. So now you've got 2 videos in the same timeline, 2 of the John and Burroughs, and you can be annotating them separately. Now here you'll see what I said about Vimeo is that you lack the discrete sort of small fine-grained controls on the bottom. For some reason with Vimeo you do not see them. So I find for various reasons it's better to use YouTube. Also you can upload as much material as you want to the YouTube for free compared to Vimeo where you have to get an account and pay for storage if you have a lot of videos. I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to go back to the timelines here. I could delete them if I wanted to. I'm going to go back here to the Piecemaker timelines, and that's it. I think that's it. So I'll scroll down to HZT again, click on videos, and sure enough, here are my 2 videos, and I can annotate them. So I hope that gets you going, and good luck with your first annotations.